Hi!
Hi!
My name is Cinnamon Roll, and I'm converting my school bus into my full-time home. So, since I uploaded my last video, I've switched to Linux. The reason I did this is because Windows is trying to force me to upgrade to Windows 11, but I don't meet the hardware requirements to do so, and I refuse to pay hundreds of dollars for a new motherboard when mine is only 3 years old. So yeah, I'm using a completely different video editor because I was running into some compatibility issues with DaVinci Resolve, and haven't really gotten it working right. Hopefully things will be up to my usual standard, but I am still learning this program, so there might be some differences you may be able to see. So yeah, in last week's video, I installed all the windows, but I ran into a bit of a problem. The sunroof wasn't exactly waterproof. I don't know exactly why, but the window sealant that I used was delaminating from the Lexan. So the first thing that I did was remove the secondary frame from the main frame. I then began sealing the main frame against the bus using some RV tape. This stuff is basically very thin, very sticky butyl tape with a backing. It's incredibly versatile and very much waterproof. Once that was done, I took the secondary frame into the shed and pulled the frame away from the Lexan. I then scraped as much of the window sealant off as I could, and then applied butyl tape to the frame. Butyl tape does not dry out and will definitely keep this window sealed. I then pressed the Lexan into place over top of the butyl tape. The butyl tape on its own doesn't have much holding power, so I used RV tape to keep the Lexan from flying off the frame as I'm driving along. I cut off the excess and repeated the process for the other 3 sides. After that, I reinstalled the window on the hatch, and then began sticking this rubber window seal to all the mating surfaces. This will hopefully keep water from seeping in between the hatch and the secondary frame. My goal this year is to get the exterior of the bus painted. To do that, I have a number of secondary goals that need to be achieved, and one of those is bodywork. Last year I did quite a bit of bodywork, but I wasn't particularly pleased with how it came out, so I endeavored to redo a bunch of it. I started on the passenger side and began to grind away some of the welds that I did before the winter. I then sanded the areas that I had just ground, and then back to grinding, and then back to sanding, and then, you know what, you guys have seen me do this before. I'm just gonna time-lapse this. The main areas that I was concerned about at the ground level were at the wheel well, at the marker light at the rear, and at the front where I had done some work on the blinker last year. I also did some work around where the main door exit handle used to be. Now, here's where things get interesting. Because I'm filling a lot of large areas with body filler, I decided to upgrade to a fiberglass reinforced body filler. I did this not because I'm looking for strength necessarily, but because I want flexibility. Large areas of body filler have a tendency to crack when it moves. Fiberglass reinforced filler, however, tends to be a lot less likely to do so. So I mixed up some filler and began applying. I still suck at bodywork, but this stuff definitely makes it much easier for me. I did the same for the other areas that I'd sanded earlier, and then sanded everything flat. After a new coat of primer, the panel looks a lot better than it did earlier. Rinse and repeat for the other sections of the passenger side. Another thing that needed to be addressed were these side boxes. I need to modify them to work for what I have planned, but first these doors needed to be removed. My plan is to repair the rust on them, and to modify them to swing sideways rather than vertically. The first step was to remove all the junk from the box that I had stored in there. After that was done, I began attempting to unscrew the doors from the hinges. I say attempt because a good chunk of the screws were badly rusted in place and needed to be cut out with the grinder. Again, I hate Phillips screws. There it goes. Once I got the doors off, I needed to remove the hinges. I planned to cut these down to size and reuse them, so they had to come off. Luckily, most of these screws came out alright, though there were still a few stubborn ones. Once the doors were off, I needed to modify the jamb and remove the latch assemblies. My plan is to put the hinges on the fronts of the boxes, but there were these pieces of metal that held the seals in place that had to be removed first. I cut them out with a combination of the grinder and the Sawzall. I cleaned up the surfaces with the grinder, and then cut this trim piece to size. It was a little bit bent up from when I removed it earlier, so I hammered it straight again, and cleaned it up with the grinder. After that, I smoothed out all the surfaces with the sander, and painted it all with primer. Once the primer was dry, I fastened everything back together with these self-drilling screws, and then primed it all again. There were these strips of metal that were originally used to hold the vinyl lining of the box in, and they were in pretty bad shape, so I needed to remove them. And what I did to the front of the box, I also needed to do to the rear. Oh yeah, don't try to straighten a Sawzall blade with your fingers. Turns out they're hot after use. So I was getting a little tired of working out in the elements, so I decided to work on something different. I was never really happy with how the heater blower layout looked, so I decided to tinker with it a bit to see if I could figure something out. Now, originally I wasn't going to use the original dash pieces, but I decided that for the sake of making my life easier, I would modify these instead of building something from scratch. What I needed was to find a way to get the hot air from the blower motor to the dash so that it could work as a defroster. I started by removing the blower motor. I played around a little bit with layouts to see what would work. I probably stared at this thing for a few hours before I decided on a way to make this work. I didn't like how the original layout was mounted, so I first cut off the mounts. I then modified what I call the airbox to make it fit in the spot that I needed it to be. Now, because I was changing the direction of the airflow, I needed to block off where the original blower motor sat so that air will be forced to flow through the radiator instead of around it. So I measured and cut a piece of steel, and screwed it in with some self-tapping screws. I then installed the airbox where I wanted it to be, and then removed the hose flange from this other piece of dash so that it can be modified. I figured out where I wanted the flange to go, and then made modifications so that it would mount to the airbox. I then reinstalled the airbox and hooked up the hose. After that, I installed the blower motor into the airbox. Now, it's not finished, but I had figured out more or less where I wanted everything to be, and that was enough for me to continue on the outside of the bus. And yet again, I went back to removing decals. I won't go into detail as to how I do this, because I've shown it about 1,000,000 times by now, so I'll finish this video off on a time-lapse. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd be very appreciative if you'd consider subscribing. It's by no means necessary, but it does help this channel grow. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.